then you have the power to unmute us.
Eastern Washington Eagles, friends and family of San Jose State, welcome to Cheney, Washington for this PAC8 matchup between the hometown Eastern Washington Eagles and the visiting San Jose State University Spartans. Last night, the Eagles coming away with a victory. Gary, tell us what you thought about what you saw between these two teams yesterday.
Well, one, I thought they were evenly matched. There's no doubt in my mind on that one. The other thing I liked what Eastern did, they played as a team last night. And you could see signs of it, but last night was a total team effort from top to bottom. That's why they did so well. And what was really nice, I talked to a couple of the injured players last night, Frank Flood and Bunch. They're ready to get back in the lineup. So Eastern's kind of getting healthy. So if Eastern can play like they did last night as a unit, keep putting that speed on the Spartans and that pressure, they're going to bode well tonight.
Well, I'm excited to see what these two teams have in store. It was a great game yesterday. Let's take a look at the starting lineups for tonight's matchup. A change in net for San Jose State, going with Antonio Miniski. Big hit in front of the Eastern Washington bench there. On defense, Duncan Warren and Brian Brem. Up front, Brian's brother Blake, Robert Arquero, and Kenneth Brown. We said Brown's name quite a bit yesterday here at the URC. On the other side of the ice in the white uniforms, Eastern Washington sticking with Scott Kennedy in between the pipes. I think that's the first time this season that they've kept one goalie for the whole weekend. So we'll see how that shakes out. In front of him, Trent Wells and Asa Cheney back in the lineup tonight. Up top, Peyton Lund, Sterling Myers, and Jared Jelinek.
But we talked about this yesterday a lot, Tyler, is just how well Eastern played as a unit. That they played as a full team. They did a lot of nice little tip passes. And what I mean by that, the pass came, but rather than stopping it, they just tipped it with their stick, and they anticipated the guy being there. They were an outstanding team last night.
Well, I'd say the last 4 periods, maybe 4 of the best periods Eastern Washington has put together this season. It'll be interesting to see if they can carry that into Saturday, which has kind of been their bugaboo this season. Those Saturday games a little bit tougher for them to stay in. We saw that opening weekend against Idaho. Now a chance as DeZerkis makes one man miss, gets that shot off, and it's kicked away by Maniski.
Maniski did a nice job kicking his pads out there, but there's a great example of anticipation. DeZerkis saw Les go down the side, and he just pulled off a little bit to the right. Les noticed him, and he just went in right at the top of the blue line. He passed it. That's that heads-up team play that I was talking about earlier, and they're getting better at it. They're anticipating where they're going to be, and once they do that, that speed's going to really hamper teams.
The penalties have been a problem for Eastern Washington coming into this weekend, but yesterday they were actually able to hold it together fairly well. Only 7 penalties. For the Eagles last night, but they didn't come back to hurt them. They went 4 for 8 on the power play, were able to kill off all 7 of their penalties.
Yeah, it was funny coming in. I talked to a couple of parents, and they were saying, would you guys cut down penalties? And I said, well, actually, last night was probably the least amount they ever took so far this year. And one parent was funny, and we've said this numerous times. Well, they do play well shorthanded. And I said, they do.
I just wish that they didn't have to do it quite so often.
Yeah, you don't need to keep getting practice in that. But I thought most of the penalties they took last night were good, solid ones that needed a response from what the Spartans did. They used the body. They responded really well. So that was really nice to see Eastern. Said, nope, we're not going to play that game.
Eastern coming into this game 5-4-1 in ACHA play, 3-4 in PAC8 conference play. San Jose State, on the other hand, coming in 4-5 overall this season. I believe they've only played 2 other PAC games against the University of Washington, and I believe they won both of those against UW, but I'll have to go back and check.
And they played WSU either a week ago or 2 weeks ago. I remember that because I was talking to WSU's head coach last night.
I thought I saw Johnny around here. I believe he's the secretary of the PAC8 this year.
Yeah. Again, it's great seeing what Eastern's doing. They're putting that pressure again on the Spartans, and it worked for them well last night, and there's no real reason to change that game plan.
A good crowd here at the URC for a Saturday night. Typically, post-football game, we see a little bit of a dip, but especially when it's a game like they played across the street today, we tend to see a little disheartened crowd out here, but it's pretty full in here, Gary.
Well, you mentioned it about, I think against Idaho, or just how much the hockey culture is building on this campus, and you see it this year with the attendance. Each year it's been growing, but this year it's been outstanding.
This one touched up at neutral ice and sent all the way down. Just under 4 minutes gone in this one on a Saturday night in Cheney. Going to give a big shout out to the Eagles hockey boosters. They were out front before the game today, passing out lanyards. Great to see so much support for this team. If you want to get involved, you can head over to eagleshockeyboosters.com. Find out what that's all about. Give your get your membership this year. You get a lanyard, you get a signed team picture, and a dangerous giveaway there by Eastern Washington in their own end. But also, more importantly, you help support these guys out on the ice. We've been able to purchase post-game meals for them this year, been able to buy a new goal horn. If you listen closely tonight after Eastern Washington scores, you'll hear that train horn, because what's more Cheney than a train horn? But if you want to get involved, you want to learn more, eagleshockeyboosters.com. Shout out to Ski, our vice president, who was out passing lanyards out yesterday, and Calvin Landby, Eastern Washington ACHA alumni from about a decade ago. He's the secretary. He's the one that you were out there meeting today. But back to the action on the ice, some big hits from Eastern Washington. And we talked about this a little bit yesterday, Gary, that no matter what happens at Eastern, from Calvin Landby 10 years ago to the team this year, always, always, always a physical presence in the ACHA, and we're seeing that already tonight.
Yeah, and I think this year's squad reminds me of about 2 years ago where they had a lot of heavy hitters. And Eastern does like to use the body, but what's nice about them, they have a lot of speed. So they can go finesse or they can go physical. It depends on how you want to play them. But that's a good trait to have, go either way.
And we see it there as Joel Lusk lays a hit on a Spartan and then takes the puck all the way down. San Jose State's netminder pinned to the ice as an Eastern player had fallen on top of him. Bouncing puck out front, dangerous for San Jose State. DeZerkis going to get there for Eastern Washington, but now over to Lusk. Lusk has Thompson out front. That's where he's going to go. Thompson gets that on the ice, but well read by Meniski.
Meniski's having a strong game right now, and as many shots as he faced so far, and there's only been 6 minutes gone in this period, but he's already faced 7, and they've been quality shots.
And again, as we said it again last night, that Eastern Washington, as physical as they are, you can depend on San Jose State to have that top-notch net minding. If you haven't been paying attention to San Jose State during the offseason, you saw them last year in the PAC8 championship final with Nick Czech-Lennis in net. And he actually was named earlier this year as the emergency backup netminder for the San Jose Sharks. A little ACHA action in the NHL someday, potentially.
He was a talented netminder, but I've been impressed with these two goalies that they have, Stevens and Meniski. They just seem to find goaltenders all over the place. But I like this year's bunch for Eastern. All three of them, even though Brash is still injured, with Shabala and Kennedy, they got solid net minding this year, top to bottom on it. So that's boded well too. Especially as soon as they get healthy again. I think they're going to be a force.
So circling back on what we were talking about earlier, the PAC8 schedule of San Jose State so far. They did beat WSU 5-3 and 9-1 in early October. And then the games against UW are not in the ACHA website, so apparently they've never happened. So as it stands, officially 2-1 in the PAC for San Jose State with 2 undetermined games.
I think they played Western. I remember because Johnny was here on the broadcast and he was scouting. Maybe it wasn't Western. No, it wasn't. Never mind. But I know San Jose has played a couple of other games, but I don't know if it was an exhibition against non-PAC8 teams, but I do know because we were watching them one time when we played Idaho.
And this is why we have the best boosters in the ACHA. We got Miss Pam Flood here telling us that San Jose State lost their first game to UW. So we'll call them 2-2.
I'm glad Pam was on top of that for us because she was listening to us. She goes, oh, they're having trouble. I'm going to have to rescue him again.
At least they're used to it at this point for us. Battle for the puck along the Eastern Washington shoot, and it's kind of backhanded down the ice, and it squirts all the way into the corner. And a battle between Brian Brem and Peyton Lund. Lund coming away with it. Now he's going to circle to the top of the PAC8 logo right down in front of the netminder as Meniski not able to hold on to it. Bouncing puck through the blue paint to Jackson Graham on the near side.
One big difference I'm seeing right now, San Jose is having trouble with Eastern speed. Unlike last night, they actually did pretty well until about the last 5-6 minutes. But right now, Eastern's they have them discombobulated from my viewpoint right now.
Now here comes Codner looking to go near side. Hugging the post is Kennedy, his second official save of the night. Jelinek puts that one towards center ice, right to the stick of a blue uniform. And a wholesale line change for San Jose State. New skates all around. That one's touched up on the way down the ice. And they're going to say it wasn't touched by San Jose State. I definitely heard it touch somebody on the way down. But we'll have a reset to the glove side of Eastern Washington netminder Scott Kennedy.
Another thing I've noticed that Eastern doing tonight more, they're spreading out the Spartans and they're getting some nice passes to that neutral zone, the stretch passes that they really like to do. So they're trying to put not only their speed pressure on, but they're stretching them out.
Thompson on the far side pushes that up ahead just enough to get his team some space as San Jose State coming the other way. Blake Brem with it on the left side now. That one knocked away, and with some speed is Lusk. Lusk pushes it ahead to Dezerkis. Dezerkis on the right side fires that one, sticked away off into the corner. And now back to Roach. Brody off of the window, bounces it back behind the San Jose State net. Eastern not shy on the forecheck pressure today.
No, and that's part of their attack right now. They're just going in full gangbusters on them, and that's how they got San Jose scrambling.
And that puck being swatted out of the air by multiple people. And now finally settled. Thompson sends it off just as he heads back to the bench. Wise move by Robbie Arver to swing his leg back over the wall and not get that call for too many men. Eastern Washington fell to that one last night.
But one thing I like what San Jose did yesterday, there's no quit in this team. I mean, they got some talent, a lot of it. We mentioned Barry a lot, but you got Hamilton played well. Castellanos, he's outstanding, and you got the Bram brothers. They got a solid team. They truly do. And with their net miners, they're going to stay in most of the games that they play. But again, you got Graham played well last night. Aquero, they got a lot of talent on this squad, but right now they're just having trouble figuring out how to slow Eastern down. And Eastern's done a great job of spreading them out. Because you see right there, they got them spread out, and then they collapsed on them. And Eastern's doing a great job of that forecheck.
And Eastern's doing a good job of moving the puck today, which was a struggle for them in the first period. It was 0-0 at the end of the first period yesterday, but I would almost tilt that one in the favor of San Jose State.
Mm-hmm.
And a little bit of a different mix today. Still nobody able to find the back of the net. Here about 11 and a half minutes into this one. Tierney from distance. That one up and over the top of the netminder. I'm not sure if it hit his stick on the way through. It goes up and over the net.
Yeah, he kicked his pad out at the last second. He's played stellar for the Spartans. But you're right, Eastern right now, they've really toned up their attack compared to yesterday.
A good look there by Lund, but he couldn't get his hips all the way around to face the net there and put it off into the corner. Calling for it up top is Roach. Instead, it goes through the crease and off of the cage of the goaltender, Meniski. And bouncing back out now, a turnover, a chance for Lund, and a good stick by Jason Codner.
Well, there's a great example of anticipating where the player was going to be, because Lund had it behind the net of the Spartans, and Roach just slowly crept in where he got right in that top slot area and would have had a one-timer, just couldn't get it to him. But that, again, they're anticipating where they're going to be. That's what I mean by they're gelling as a team. A month ago, you wouldn't have saw that.
And that one lost all the way down the ice. Just a quick update. Our crack stats team finally able to track down those scores for the UW San Jose State game. Unfortunately, San Jose State lost both of those 5-3 and 8-1, but they beat both Washington beat Washington State in both of those games. So officially 2-3 in the conference.
Thank you, Kayla.
2-3 in the conference, 6-5 overall. So a winning record for the Spartans coming into tonight.
But you got to be impressed with how Eastern has just started this game. They just went full board, and you hit it on the head. Yesterday, the first period, San Jose really did take it to them. It's a different game tonight, but again, with this net minding for the Spartans, they're holding them in and see if they can settle them down a little bit.
Good pickup by Brown on the far side. He's going to put that one on net and then put Thompson into the wall. So the stoppage here with 6:50 left to play. Eastern Washington, 11 shots so far in just over 13 minutes, almost averaging a shot per minute. The Spartans, 4 shots so far in this one. Another face-off one right back into the skates of the Spartans centerman, and they couldn't find it. So Eastern going to come away with the puck from this scrum up into neutral ice. Lusk pushes it ahead to Thompson. Thompson fires that, lifts it just a bit too tall. Now, sending that one back in was Wells, the captain for Eastern Washington, and battling in the corner now is Lusk. He had to get around the outside of Codner and was able to get that shot on net. Way out of his net comes Maniski to glove that one and set it on the ice for his team. Aguero gains the blue line, leaves it off for his own man on the far side. Brown back into the center, and just like that, San Jose State finds a way to the back of the net thanks to Blake Brem.
That was an outstanding job by Blake on that one. He just kind of trailed it. I think they were going to try to do a cross ice pass, and he just decided to shoot it. And a nice heads-up job by the Spartans on that, take that 1-0 lead. But this kind of, again, yesterday, Eastern got up, and then San Jose came back. So you got to tip your cap to the Spartans. They
take a look at the replay here as it comes across right to the center, and he just poked it right on in.
But again, San Jose, there's just absolutely no quit in this team, and they don't seem to rattle too much.
And off of the midsection of the netminder, and Kennedy trying to find that puck. Finally does in his legs.
Well, the Spartan player thought it went across the goal line. He was pointing at it pretty hard. The referee said no. He had it under his pad. But
so that goal officially at 13:59 of the first period. Blake Brem from Robert Aguero and Kenneth Brown, putting San Jose State up by 1.
That's a tough line San Jose puts out with those three. They move really well. They know where they're going to be. We got a penalty coming up against, I think it's going to be Roach, I think.
It looked like a boarding signaled by the official. So Eastern Washington, things going from bad to worse here. We'll see. It's Brody Roach officially for a boarding. So Eastern Washington heading to the penalty kill. San Jose State, their best opportunity here to put themselves up by 2 early in this one and really set the tone for the evening. Brown with it in front of the Eastern Washington shoot door. He's going to take a couple of steps and try and do it all himself. It bounces off to the back door, right to the near side post again off of the rebound by Barry. He had the first 2 goals for San Jose State yesterday. And Kennedy dives on top of that one.
That was a good heads-up play by Asa Cheney, too, on that, how the rebound came out. He got it. He just kind of kicked it behind the net so he could kind of corral us. That was a nice play by Cheney on that one.
That goal, Blake Brem's 6th of the season 14 points for him so far in 2024. Puck up to the top of the zone, and unable to keep it in was Brian Brem. San Jose State looking to stretch that zone on the power play. And Smitty doing a good job of covering it up and sending it down the ice.
Well, that's why I like seeing Smitty on the penalty kill, because he doesn't ever stop. He's always in motion, and he's always looking to attack, and that was a great example of it right there.
Danny Barry carries it back behind the net. He's rubbed off of the puck, and now it's dumped down the ice, but out of his net comes Maniski, and he's going to send it back up the ice. Barry again on the left side across the blue line, fires that from a deep angle, kicked away by Kennedy, off of the glass, now pushed up ahead. Jelinek, if he can get there, he'll have numbers. Couldn't get there in time, but disrupted enough for Lund. Lund trying to get past Brian Brem, knocks him down, but on the way down, Brem able to kick that one away, and now Jelinek again, looking to use his speed. And it's the Spartans that come the other way. Around one man goes Castellanos, but can't control the puck any further. And out of the box comes Brody Roach. Eastern able to get a fresh set of skates on the ice, so not really that power play hangover, penalty kill hangover that you typically see. New skaters out there. Pretty early on in this one as well. Thompson taking on every Spartan that comes his way, and now back behind the net. DeZerkis looking for the lacrosse goal, and very smart move by Duncan Warren. Just knock him down.
Well, he didn't play, but DeZerkis, I think he was trying to pass it instead of trying to put it in the net, because if you look at how the puck went, and I don't know who was in front. I think that was Thompson.
Trying to just get like a ricochet bounce off of him, maybe.
Yep.
So I think Duncan has set the precedent there. Maybe keep the puck on the ice from behind the net.
But one thing I'm seeing out of Eastern also tonight is they're looking at going in the back door. They're flooding that area heavily, and they've got some nice shots off of it. We'll see if they can get any goals off of it, but they are really focused on that.
Arver leaves the puck, takes out the player, comes back for the puck, and then gives it away in the center of the zone. And now Arver throwing his body, all 6'4", 225 pounds of that first-year Eagle.
That's a strong part of his game.
I think it's got to be if you're that big.
Well, I'm expecting him to take up camp in front of the net, because that's where he's extremely effective also. Nobody really moves him when they try. And he's got some points, but he's thrown his body tonight a lot. And
that's going to be a trip as he got his skates pulled out from underneath him. And now if Eastern Washington can keep a level head and not get the retaliation penalty, they may head to the power play.
Well, it looked like Stevenson that went to calm Arver down, because Arver was on his knees and he was trying to throw some punches out there. So I don't know what got into Robbie tonight, but he says, no, I'm going to start banging people. The heck with it. And,
so it'll be a cross check for Warren, who has been all over the defense tonight.
The crowd's ready. They want to erupt. They got the clappers tonight. They're banging on those pretty heavily. They're ready.
Well, Eastern's did a fantastic job on the power play yesterday. Both the second and third period, San Jose State started down a man. Now, San Jose State coach a little hot with the officials. So looks like they changed when they weren't supposed to. But Eastern Washington scored quickly in that second period. They're hoping to not take so long into this penalty today. Lusk across to Wells. Wells thinks about it. Back to Lusk. Gets in too deep. He's got Wells up top. That's where he goes. Wells thinks about it. And it looks like we're going to have a delayed penalty as the goaltender dropped his glove. But in the ACHA, that is not a stoppage. The only stoppage in the ACHA is if the netminder loses his helmet. So San Jose State getting away with one there. Reset in the attacking zone. I mean, I'm all for safety, so I'm not mad that the officials did that, but Eastern learned that the hard way last year, that is not a stoppage.
But I'm with you. Safety needs to be first, but I sure would like to saw
Especially
Wells
for the
go.
netminder.
Yeah.
He was ready. Wells had that lined up.
And he has a wicked shot when he winds up. He was ready.
Still looking for his first goal of the season, the captain is. Lusk with it on the right side. Now back up top to Wells, back to Lund. All the way across now. And that one smashed off of both gloves and then the helmet of Moniski. So 106 to go.
That was some nice tape pass on that one. They didn't set it up. They were motioning it. They wanted to keep cycling on it. That was a nice job by the Eagles.
106 left on the power play for the Eagles. Face-off coming stick side of Antonio Moniski. He's got 14 saves so far tonight. And again, tied up on the face-off dot. Wells trying to get it all the way across. Enough to get it up to Lusk. And now Wells fires that shot, bouncing around and over the top of the netminder. And they're going to point it to Wells. They're going to give Trent Wells his first goal of the season. And that one levels this one up at 1. Just 34.8 seconds left in this opening period. And again, the power play becoming the friend of Eastern Washington, and the penalty kill hurting the San Jose State Spartans.
If we catch a replay on that one, you can see what I'm talking about, how hard Wells shoots that puck, because he moved in at the top slot and he just uncorked it. And there's nothing Moniski could have done on that one. Wells just has a tremendous shot.
There's 33 seconds left in this period. Stick around after the period. We'll get that replay of the goal for you before we head to break.
Well, that was a great setup by Trent on that one. He kept moving out there at the top of the blue line and got himself open and pinched in and got a nice one-timer.
Now Eastern looking to do it again. 14 seconds left. Shot from distance. And there it is, end of the first period here in Cheney, all knotted up at 1. Last night, 24 hours ago, it was all knotted up at 0. Good news for the Spartans. They don't have to start with a man in the box in that second period. Unfortunately for them, it's because Eastern Washington was able to convert quickly on that power play goal. Officially, Trent Wells from Joel Lusk and Jared Jelinek. But if we're ready, let's go ahead and take a look at that replay.
Just look at how Wells sets himself up to get an open shot.
The Wells sitting here, that one bouncing around. So we'll have the reset here. I asked our replay crew to give us a little bit longer of a replay here. So we'll set up on this face-off. I really wanted everybody to see this full setup on the goal, because you're right, Gary. They really did set this up. And Wells was ready to shoot. He wanted that before the stoppage. And he got that payback.
Just watch how he moves toward it to get set up off of it.
So back over to Lusk. And then it's going to go up to the top. Bounces up and over the top, and then boom, right into the back of the net. And just like that.
If Wells wouldn't have done those 4 strides, he wouldn't have got that shot. He moved from left to right on that one because he saw Lusk with it, and he set that up extremely well. Good heads-up play by both of them.
We're going to step away. We'll be back in about 15 minutes for the second period of action here in Cheney. It's the Eagles and the Spartans tied at 1. You're watching Eastern Washington University Hockey. Friends and family, welcome back to Cheney, Washington and the Eastern Washington University Recreation Center for night 2 between the Eagles and the San Jose State Spartans. These two teams battling to a 1-1 draw in the first 20 minutes. Both teams picking up a penalty, but Eastern Washington, the ones able to convert on the power play, thanks to Trent Wells, the captain, getting his first tally of the season. The assists on that one going to Joel Lusk and Jared Jelinek. On the other side, it was actually the San Jose State Spartans that struck first. 13:59 into the first period. It was Blake Brem, courtesy of Robert Arquero and Ken Brown. My name's Tyler Pisani, joined as always by Gary Allen. And Gary, it was a heck of a first period for both of these teams, back and forth pretty much the whole way.
Yeah, it's outstanding. Actually, these teams were pretty evenly matched. That's why we're getting another good game like we did last night. One thing I do like what the Eagles are doing, they're making San Jose chase them, but then I like what San Jose's doing. They're really trying to pinch Eastern down. So both teams are doing an outstanding job of implementing some changes from last night. But Eastern, if they can keep being physical and putting the pressure on, especially in that forecheck, that's what caused the San Jose quite a bit of problems in that first period. But Eastern's playing really well. But again, you tip your cap to the Spartans. There's no quitting them. I mentioned that before in the first period. But the net mining for the Spartans have been outstanding. Last night, Stevens, and tonight, Miskey. But then tonight with Kennedy, he's playing a stellar game for the Eagles. So it's been quite entertaining. But there, Castellanos, you have got to know where he's at all time. He just broke all by himself on the near boards and got a nice little shot on Kennedy, who just kind of got it behind his net. But Eastern has got to watch that line because Castellanos, he has a lot of. Here comes the Spartans again. He tried to. That was Dysart, who's another outstanding player for San Jose. He's a kid you got to be careful of, too, because he's got great hand-eye coordination. But right now, it looks like the Spartans are the ones that are putting a little bit of offensive pressure. We got a penalty coming up. It looks like it's going against Eastern. And what I'm seeing is Sam Thompson is skating toward the box. I didn't see what the referee called, but he pointed at Thompson on it. Looks like a hold possibly. So Eastern will be down. No, I correct that. That's against the Spartans because the referee was pointing at Thompson, but Castellanos is going in for the hold. Well, now they got a penalty for Eastern and San Jose, but there's nobody in the penalty box for Eastern. There goes, okay, so they called both. It was Thompson for the Eagles. I just didn't see Castellanos going in the box for the Spartans, so that'll even it up. So I apologize for that, but at first they were just pointing at Thompson to go in the box, and then all of a sudden the gate opened up for the Spartans, and Castellanos goes in there. So it'll be 4-on-4 hockey for the next couple of minutes.
And sorry for screwing with the camera there, everybody at home. Trying to get you a little bit better of a picture. The internet quality in the building, not quite what we are used to. So our apologies for the camera quality here in this period. Take another look at it at the intermission. But Gary, what are we sitting in the box for here?
Well, Thompson got a hold, and I'm not sure exactly what Castellanos got. Because like I said earlier, they just pointed at Thompson, and the gate opened up, and nothing was happening for the Spartans. So I'm not really sure what they got Castellanos for, but it was definitely a hold on Thompson.
So they actually got those two for hugging. Both of them got a hold.
Oh, well.
So
They just wanted to talk about the pizza tonight.
They did.
That's all they're doing. What do you like tonight?
I mean, that's why there's such a party in the scorer's box tonight. Numbers on the board backwards from what's in the box here. 15 for San Jose State and 21 for Eastern, both for a hold here.
And I'm glad you clarified that because I thought it was me for a minute. I wasn't going to mention it. It's like, well, 15's not.
He kept saying Thompson, and I'm like, 15 is Tyler DeJulia, but he's not playing. And Eastern going to get sent to the box again here as Cheney not able to hold on to his stick and back behind him. It looks like both officials have a penalty here. We'll see what it was.
It's going to be a trip.
It'll be a trip, I assume, on Cheney. That one was back behind the play, and it is going to be him and both officials calling the same trip. Yes. So one penalty, one trip to the box, one man advantage for San Jose State.
And that's how blatant it was because it's rare when you see both officials raise their arm right at the same time. So that they both spotted that one.
So this one, 2:16 of the second period. Asa Cheney, 2-minute timeout for tripping. So a 4-on-3 situation here. Lots of open ice, but a good opportunity for the San Jose State Spartans to pull back ahead. Puck off to the far side. Kicked away near side by Kennedy.
Eastern's got to be careful with these penalties because that you could tell San Jose is getting a lot of momentum going on the penalties so much. There's a great example of what you talked about. The helmet came off, they blew the whistle right away, and it's good to see the referees were on top of that.
And I think they blew the whistle that time before his helmet even hit the ice. It popped off, and there was a whistle. That's good protection from these officials.
That's good officiating there. And I'm with you. I had no problem with them calling it when he lost his stick on the Spartans goalie because goalies have got to be protected out there.
Now face-off coming to Kennedy's stick side. Won by the Eagles, and now with some speed, here comes Peyton Lund. Lund forehand finds a spot and right into the midsection of the netminder. And not really sure why Kenneth Brown came in there so aggressive. As London just kind of stopped next to the net, and he was not a fan of that. He was within whispering distance of his goaltender, and can't have that.
Minsky did a nice job because he wasn't sure where the puck was. It looked like it was tucked up behind his pad, and he kept looking behind the net, couldn't find the puck, and I think it was just buried between his pants and his pad on that one.
Up the low side wall is Brown for the Spartans. He's knocked off of the puck, at least for the moment, and then able to get right back to it. He's got a couple of men free in the zone. Still 6 seconds left on the coincidental minors. As those two players exit the box. 5-on-4 for the next minute 3. Backhanding across the zone. Using his full body was Brody Roach, and able to disrupt that play enough to not allow a clean shot off. And now Dysart, he's going to feed it out front. Kick save off of the Castellano shot. Barry on the right side. Pushes it down low to Dysart. Back up top to Barry. Barry point blank. Another turnaway shot by Kennedy. 35 left on the penalty clock.
The Spartans have such a good cycle game when they're a man advantage down low. They just move the puck rapidly down there.
And they are not afraid to put bodies in the slot, more than one sometimes.
They got 2 right now there. And
looking for that tip off of the Brian Brem shot. And Kennedy falling down, coming across and just not able to get there in time. Nicked off the top of his glove, but San Jose State, just like that, back on top by 1, courtesy of Mr. Kenneth Brown.
That was the relentless pressure, and that's all that cycle game the Spartans do. Just an outstanding job with the man advantage because they didn't slow down one bit. They were definitely looking for that open guy, and he just snuck out toward the right of Kennedy, and nothing Scott could have done on that one. Just nice play, nice power play.
Just that body on the back post.
Yeah, just great great movement by the Spartans you saw on that one and on the replay. They just kept moving the puck over and over and over.
But if you're an Eastern Eagle, you got to pick up on that, especially with so many bodies right in front of the net. And I think they did that and then lost the guys on the outside because of that. Great work by the Spartans.
Well, yeah, that's what the Spartans do really well. They did that last night. They put people on the outside, and that opens up the ice for them, especially in that slot area. But that time the penalty came back and bit Eastern. So hopefully they'll get that and slow it down a little bit on the penalties.
Big shot from center ice right on the mark, sticked away into the corner by Baniski. Eastern having to retreat out of the zone. The player fell down. And they're going to call that offside. I think that was just a confusion with the change.
But I think
actually it looks like they're going to send somebody to the box for Eastern Washington.
Can we get another shot on that one? Because I missed the penalty on that. I didn't see anything. Unless it was too many men on the ice.
It looks like it must have been. That is what they're going to call here. So Thompson going to head to the box. Eastern just getting out of trouble.
This is a thorn in Eastern's side with collecting multiple penalties in a game. And they've been getting burned on a little bit. They didn't last night, but...
So that last goal officially 4:08 of the second period. Kenneth Brown from Danny Berry on the power play. And Sam Thompson in the box, so Eastern Washington on the penalty kill.
I think one thing why these games have been so competitive and outstanding hockey, both teams know the value of getting 2 wins, or the points for this. And I think it adds pressure onto them to get a W, especially for the Spartans. They want to split. But Eastern could do them both well if they could pop another W.
That one just wide of the mark. Thompson kind of cheating, or Kennedy rather, kind of cheating over to that far post. And it was too many men. So for the second night in a row, Eastern Washington takes a too many men penalty in the second period. Last night they were able to kill that off, but so far tonight, only 1 for 3 on the power play. Or I'm sorry, only 2 for 3 on the penalty kill. San Jose State 1 for 3 on the power play. Kennedy hugs that post and swallows the puck with 55 seconds left on the too many men minor. Eastern will get 4 fresh players out of the bench. San Jose State sticking with what's on the ice.
There's a great example of how the Spartans are sending out wide on their player, because he got out there and he kind of slid over to the dot and got a nice one-timer.
The battle for the puck at the top of the zone. It's going to go near side now to Barry. He has been a thorn in the side of the Eagles this weekend. 2 goals and an assist, or 2 goals yesterday and an assist tonight. Behind the net, slapped down by Roach. On the far side, Barry waiting on the near side. They're going to go up top to Brian Brem. Now over to the far side again. That's the goal scorer, Brown. Puck right out front, swallowed up. And Chris Dysart, some pushing up against the netminder, and Eastern Washington not a big fan of that.
Yeah, Mr. Clark took exception to that, which is good to see, but you can see with these penalties, the Spartans keep getting a little bit more confident, a little bit more momentum on their side, and they're moving the puck extremely well on these power plays.
Puck up in front of the San Jose bench. Now over to the far side, a mishandled puck by Blake Brem in the corner, but it's going to go back up to the top of the zone. San Jose State keeping it inside of the blue line. Fighting for it in the corner. And again, back to Blake Brem. Here comes Eastern Washington the other way. Man coming out of the box. They've got a 3-on-1 opportunity. Jelinek, he's going to go across. Back to Jelinek and just a bit too far. Eastern Washington trying to stretch that netminder and the defense, but not able to get a shot off on net. Their best opportunity of the period so far, back to full-strength hockey.
And you credit Duncan Warren on that one. He's the one that blocked that pass. If not, that would have been a clean back hand shot, and that would have went in the net. Great job by Warren to play heads up for the Spartans.
And that one all the way back down the ice.
And we are working on that dark screen right now. We're swapping out some things, so please bear with us. .12:09 left in the second period. But you notice the Spartans, they've added a lot more offense to this second period because now they're leading on the shots on goal 22-18. And you can see the intensity pick up offensively for the Spartans. And again, I still go back to both teams know how important this win is tonight. And with San Jose losing last night, they have to get a split out of this. And Eastern just has to match their intensity level right now. But give the Spartans credit. It's definitely been their period.
Well, and they're back on the power play as Sam Thompson back in the box. This time for a trip and now a foot race between, it's like that was Smith and Brian Brem. Smith just going to send that one in and around, held onto it for a good 3 or 4 seconds, killing off as much time as they can. These long changes on the penalty kill are extra difficult. The second period, tough time to get this many penalties. That one chopped back down the ice and it'll roll along.
Well, there's no question Eastern has got to really be cognizant because a couple of these penalties have, in essence, been lazy ones if they would have just strided a little bit more. And the Spartans are liking it because it bodes well for their offensive attack tonight.
Spartans on the back door. That one through the blue paint. Off of the stick of Brown. He was looking for his second. And now Lund has it, looking to go straight into the middle and is hung up on a couple of sticks. Can't get that one off, and it's going to float towards the netminder.
I don't know about you, Tyler, but it just seems, watching this period compared to the first, the Spartans seem to have a more urgency look to their squad this period because they're really coming out, forechecking really well, back-checking really well. They just seem to have an urgency about them in this period.
Well, they definitely, we talked about it earlier. You know, they won the first period yesterday, and then from that point on, it was pretty even between the two teams with Eastern pulling away late. But so far, I'd say that this has been mostly San Jose State, not just in this period, but in the game so far. Eastern kind of owned that first 5 or 6 minutes, and after that, it's been all Spartans.
Well, I think what's hurting Eastern right now, because they were attacking extremely well in the first, but they've taken so many penalties right now, they can't get back into that groove.
That one off of the goaltender, off of the iron, and up into the netting. You see Kennedy there telling his best friend thank you.
I don't know. I thought it might have went off Kennedy's shoulder and hit that top bar.
I think
it went in the net, but yeah, he was thanking the pole. He was definitely letting it know thank you. But that's the difference I'm seeing right now is just the urgency by San Jose.
Face-off coming, stick side of Scott Kennedy. Across the zone, couple of steps taken in, and Kennedy read that well through traffic. 7 seconds left on the minor penalty to Sam Thompson. Last time Sam was on the box, he came out of the box and helped Eastern to a 3-on-1. Eastern hoping for the same thing here with 5 seconds left in the sin bin. Pushed across, now sticked away. Here comes Thompson. That one through the zone. Looking to poke that home from close range was Cam Morris. This one squirts all the way down the ice. Having to circle back behind his own net is Warren, and instead he's going to keep it on the near side. Warren is clobbered as he got rid of that one. Official standing right there. No penalty coming. This one's sent back, trailing the play that time. Looks like it was Blake Brem. Now off the wall goes Eli Nickish. Haven't heard much from either of the Nickish brothers today.
And that's a rarity for those two.
That one off the wall, pushed ahead to Best. Best looking to backhand it out front. He's taken down, and player knocked over the top of the San Jose State netminder and into the goal. See who that was. Looks like it might have been Jacob Nickish. Or actually, Jacob Nickish that took a ride over the top of Meniski.
Another thing I picked up what San Jose is doing tonight, they're swarming Eastern more than they did yesterday. So not only are they going to more of a finesse game, but with their forecheck and the swarming us, they got Eastern a little bit chasing them. And I think that's what they're attempting to do. And so that was a nice adjustment in between periods.
Off to the far side, and that's going to squirt all the way down the ice. Asa Cheating going to have to beat that one out. Not really sure. They called the icing before it actually crossed the line there. And as they reset, we got 9:05 left to play.
But again, Eastern, if they would just get back to what they were doing in the first period and what they did yesterday, they just were relentless on their attack. They'll be fine. They just got to stay out of the penalty box. That's what's really, really hampering them tonight. There's no question of mind about that. Absolutely no question. But you got to give the Spartans credit on this one because they came out with a different attack tonight, and it's working for them right now, and they got the talent to do it.
Battle behind the puck. Eastern coming away with it, but just can't get the shots this period like they were getting last period. San Jose State out shooting the Eagles 26-20. It helps that they've had a man advantage for a substantial portion of the period so far. Now here come the Spartans through neutral ice. Codner pushing it off to his man in the center. And now having to circle back into neutral ice is Morristein. Clark dodges a big hit there, or a big hit attempt rather, by John Parsons. And that'll be an icing with 7:52 left to play.
Well, it'll be interesting how Eastern decides to counteract the swarmingness of the Spartans right now, because that's a big part of this period for the San Jose, and they're combining it with their forecheck, so they're not giving Eastern any opportunity to try to set up anything in their D zone. So you got to give credit to the Spartans on that one. They kind of changed their format a little bit compared to last night in the first period, but we'll see what kind of adjustments here coming up Eastern can make on the fly.
Well, it's still very much in this game, even though it hasn't felt like it for the last 12 and a half minutes.
And that bodes well. Again, it goes back to the penalties Eastern are taking. They're actually hampering their offensive attack. And you're right, it's extremely competitive. They're still in the game. They just got to stay out of the box.
And here comes San Jose State again. Big shot by Chris Dysart. Blockered into the corner. Now 2-on-2 rush for Eastern Washington. Thompson, he's got Dezerkis crashing with him. Instead, he's going to leave it off. Dezerkis waiting out front. Didn't see the puck go back behind the net. So a couple of strides behind the defenseman there. Big hit right at the blue line. Dezerkis a little slow to get up, but Dom back on the attack. That's going to get sent down the ice. Dysart on the right side. Arver trying to poke it away with that extra long reach. So it's going to go back to Dysart behind the net again from the far side. Now this one pushed up top. Brian Brem keeps it in for the Spartans. Tierney on the far side swipes at the puck, and he's going to take a trip. So peewee level penalty there, unfortunately, going for that puck and completely missing and hitting the skates. Bad timing for Mac Tierney. This one coming 13:41 of this period. The 6th penalty for Eastern Washington in this one. And it'll be Mac Tierney taking a seat for a trip, putting the Spartans back on the power play. They're 1 for 5 so far.
Well, again, you got to credit Kennedy for really shutting the Spartans down right now, because Scott's had an outstanding game, but
25 saves already.
Man, Eastern has gotta slow up on what their penalties, like you said. Like that one was, questionable. I mean, they're hurting themselves right now, especially on the offensive end. See, there's that player that he's just out farther. He's a little bit out farther, and they're waiting to set him up because he's coming up in the back door looking for that pass, and it almost worked right there.
The Eagles been shorthanded for more than 2/3 of this period so far. Tough to score a goal like that, even though we talk about them being good on the penalty kill. It's not necessarily something you want to be good at, or have a lot of game tape to look back at to convince people that you're good at it.
Yeah, they're proficient at it, but I mean, after a while, you may want to say, well, let's just stay even strength.
Well, San Jose State has made them pay. The Spartans looking to do it again. 50 seconds left on that minor tripping penalty to Tierney. Picking it up on the far side is Brown. Brown's going to get taken down behind the play, and as we talk about Eastern Washington making poor decisions, Asa Cheney going to make his second poor decision of the period. As Kennedy covers that one up, they blew it dead even though he didn't have it. Lucky for Eastern Washington there. 28 seconds left on the Tierney penalty. I would assume this is a boarding. That was a big hit by Cheney.
Yep, that's what they called it.
So Cheney and Tierney. We're going to talk about their pizza order at the Barrel House Pub and Pizza over there. We'll head there after the game today. 28 seconds, a 5-on-3, 2 minutes for Cheney for boarding.
I give all the credit in the world how the Spartans are playing tonight, but right now Eastern's their own worst enemy with all these penalties.
Big kick save by Kennedy, stays in that the splits position and covers that one up.
Kennedy's been rock solid for him, and if it wasn't for him, Eastern could be in trouble with these penalties that they've taken, because the Spartans are unleashing them. It's a shooting gallery right now on them.
Well, and these penalties are frustration penalties, which isn't necessarily something you see in the second period of a 2-1 game.
Yeah,
but San Jose State's getting under their skin, and Eastern is having to pay for it.
Unless they're chirping at him, the game's in pretty mild manner overall, so they might be talking to him down there, and that's what is irritating Eastern, but they got to be careful.
Shot taken from point-blank range, just off the mark. It's going to rim around the window into the corner. Barry has it on the right side. Takes a couple of steps back to 4-on-5 hockey for Eastern Washington. 1:15 left on Cheney's minor. This one right out front to the slot. But it was Castellanos unable to handle that. And a good check by Kennedy. And Kennedy now putting a player into the goal. And now players everywhere. This one going to get heated. Kennedy very unhappy that there was a player behind him in the net and really has every right to that space in the crease. I think pushing, it looked like that was Kenneth Brown into the crossbar. Maybe not the best way to go about that, but you got to get that space. And when that happens, of course, both teams are going to react.
Yeah, Kennedy definitely let the player know he did not appreciate him back there. And then it just kind of, that's more of the style I'm used to watching Eastern and San Jose play right there.
Let's take a look at it real quick. And you can see Kennedy there down low, got one player, and then Brown got behind him, and he put him right into the net, and then all heck broke loose.
Well, Kennedy took that extra shot when he realized, and it looked like it was Brown in there. I think he got upset because I think he thought Brown hit him, and that's why he reacted that way. If we kick that back up again, we could see that, because if you noticed at first, Kennedy wasn't doing anything. Then all of a sudden he reacted. And then I don't know who the Eastern player was. He got involved with it, and then they kind of had all kinds of problems. And I think that's Wells going in the box. Wells not going to let anybody touch his netminder. But yeah, if we could catch that again with Kennedy. Initially, he was fine with it, and I don't know if he got hit. Someone says something to him, because that's when he reacted and double-handed the San Jose player.
So, and it looks like it's Barry that'll join Wells in the box. So 4-on-3 hockey for the next 105. And it looks like it's also going to be Castellanos.
Well, I think Castellanos came in and got in that scrum after Kennedy knocked his player down, and I think that's when Wells reacted. But hopefully we can get that back up, because so we can watch Kennedy, because at first he was fine.
We'll see if we can get that replay queued up as they're trying to figure out what's going on with everybody over there. Just look back at Asa Cini's penalty there. That was a rough that they assessed him. So he's still got 105 left on that minor penalty. 2-minute showing for Wells and Barry. So I assume we'll have 4 on 3.
Here we go. Now watch Kennedy. If we back it up just a little bit, watch
Can we back up just a bit more?
At first, he wasn't reacting.
So we see him come in and right there, and then he gets somebody behind him, and that's Brown that he puts into the net, and then he gets kind of tripped over the top, and I almost think that Brown was there in his feet,
Possibly.
And he thought that there was something else going on.
And that's why I was wondering if he thought someone didn't even hit him, and that's why he reacted that way. And then Wells, he just does what Wells does, and you got to give him kudos for that. He's not going to let anyone buy his netminder.
So Parsons and Barry both in the box. So 3-on-3 NHL overtime style hockey for the next minute 5 seconds. And actually, they took Barry out of the box. Castellanos and Parsons in there. So 3-on-3 for 105. Lots of open ice out here. And the battle at the point. Coming away with it is San Jose State, at least for the moment. Eastern Washington's Brody Roach fell on top of it. Brian Brem able to poke it away, but now on the far side, bringing it up the ice is Lusk. Lusk at the blue line. He's got Clark trailing. He's got Roach on the far side, still with it. Lusk fires that in. Looking for the tip in was Clark. And now Eastern going to have to get on their horses and get back. A 3-on-1 opportunity here for San Jose State. 2-on-1, turning into a 2-on-2, turning into a missed opportunity all the way down into the corner. Good chance for the Spartans. 11 seconds left on the 3-on-3. Right out front, kick save by Kennedy. And now with some speed, here come the Eagles. Roach is waiting for a man to come out of the box, and the clock almost looked like it had frozen for a moment. Because that was maybe the longest 5 seconds of my life. And you could hear the crowd kind of groaning as it was coming through. Eastern was trying to hold off until Cini got out of the box, but just couldn't do it. So now a 4-on-3 opportunity for the Eagles for the next 47 seconds. Their first power play of this second period.
Well, the game is definitely getting a little feistier now as it's progressing through this period. So, but I got to give a shout out for Keegan Clark on that one. He back checked, and that prevented the Spartans from getting a 2-on-1, and that was pure on him. He just hauled himself back and really disrupted the play.
On the far side, trying to get it out front to Lund. It's going to get pinned against the wall in front of the Zamboni door and bringing it back towards Scott Kennedy as Duncan Warren. He's just going to float it down the ice. Eastern looking to reset here. 20 seconds left on the power play. Still lots of open ice out there. Here comes Lusk. Forehand over the top. As he was able to walk right in on Maniski. And Maniski gloves that, holds on to it. It looks like San Jose State sending another player to the box. So this power play for Eastern Washington going to extend to 2:05.
Christopher Dysart is the one they called. He's going in the box. So this is a golden opportunity for the Eagles.
18:04 of this second period. It's Dysart. Gary, did you catch what they had called on that?
No,
it looked like a trip, but I thought I saw two different calls from two different officials.
I initially thought he indicated a cross-check on it, just the way that the Eagle went down, but
maybe I saw him drop his air stick, and that was him picking it up. There's no trip.
You're on it tonight. You're definitely there, big fella.
So Dysart there. We'll see if it updates on our official scoring sheet here, but a good opportunity for Eastern Washington, and just absolutely clobbered in the middle of the zone. That was, I believe, Brown. Actually, it was Cam Morris. And Eastern not afraid to throw the body here with the man advantage.
Robbie Arver is definitely playing angry tonight. He's hitting everything that moves. He did that in the first period, and he's picking it up in the second period. Something got under his skin big time.
Lusk to Tierney through traffic, puck down again, and the officials blowing the whistle very quickly. That's the second or third time it's happened on both sides of the ice, or third or fourth time really, where the puck's hit the netminder, and as soon as it hits that logo, they blow the whistle, and then it falls out in front of them. I think both teams may be missing an opportunity tonight off of that. Not to say these officials aren't doing a fantastic job.
No, they are, but one good thing, they're consistent with it. So it's not like it's lopsided that they're only doing it one way. It's been pretty steady throughout, so you got to tip your cap to them.
So 1:02 left in this period. San Jose State started the third period down a man yesterday. Today, if they're able to keep the Eagles out of the back of the net, only a 9-second holdover. So not much time, especially coming off of the big break from the intermission. DeZerkis back up top to Wells. He's got the one goal for Eastern Washington today. Thinks about it again, decides on the pass. Top shelf, Dom DeZerkis!
I'm telling you, DeZerkis, I swear when he gets the puck down that low slot, it's going in the net. And that was an outstanding job by Trent Wells. He set that up. He kept skating over a little bit more. Dom kind of flopped himself right by the post. If we get that replay on that one, just watch these two. Outstanding job by both of them. But DeZerkis has such a shot. He just buried it. And there was nothing the San Jose State netminder could do on it. Because Dom has one heck of a shot.
So let's go ahead and take a look at this replay. As you can see, over to Dom on the left side. He sent it back out across.
But look how Wells is moving.
And DeZerkis from the left side, top shelf, thanks to Joel Lusk and Jared Jelinek.
That was great movement by both players, and they were setting that up just by looking at each other. They knew what they wanted to do. Outstanding job by those two. I just love watching Dom when he unloads it because it's a rocket.
Jelinek on his second assist of the evening. Both goals have gone Jelinek, Lusk. First one was Wells, second one was DeZerkis. And that one, another power play goal. And the officials need to separate these players.
Well,
and now Dom gets his hand in there.
Yeah.
Dom's got a hand on his face mask. That's definitely a game.
Clark is in there now.
Somebody had a hand on Dom's face mask and completely ripped it off.
I think you can see the guy on the ice who Don went right on top of him.
So might be a couple of disqualifications coming from this mess. We're going to step away. We'll get it all sorted out, and we will fill you in here in about 20 minutes when we get back for the second period of hockey. Tied at 2-2. Eagles, Spartans. You're watching Eastern Washington University men's hockey. Friends and family, welcome back to the Eastern Washington University Recreation Center, where we had quite the ending to the second period. Let's take you back there.
Because it was definitely a mess.
It was. So here, let's take a look. Back at what happened here at the end of the period. You can see right there, that was right as the buzzer went, and this is where it gets out of hand. You see Dom DeZerkis coming in from the right side, and he grabs a player and puts him in a headlock, and then he gets his face mask ripped backwards, falls down, and I think this is where Dom needs to control himself a little bit. A second action there, and that's what resulted in, I believe, his penalties. So taking a look at what happened, Dom DeZerkis going to get a major penalty, 5 minutes, and a game misconduct for his actions. So Eastern Washington going to be without one of their top scorers for the final 20 minutes of this tie game. On the other side, Blake Brem, he was the one that had a hold of Dom's face mask. He got a 5-minute major, but he'll be able to rejoin the game with 15 minutes left in this third period. And Kenneth Brown back to the box for roughing.
I just do find it interesting why Dom got booted out of the game. Because his second time, as you mentioned it, that was after the second guy came in and came from behind on him and had his face mask. So that's an interesting call by the officials on that.
Well, I do think maybe Dom earned that one himself by going back for seconds. Yeah, came in, kind of started the scrum, then went after he got his face mask, pulled off basically, went back for seconds with Blake Brem. Kind of let him know, hey, that was not okay. But I think that's what the officials saw there, and that's going to lead to Dom having to hit the showers early and us playing the first quarter of this period with only 4 skaters on each team. Unfortunately for San Jose State, they also sent Kenneth Brown to the box. So we'll actually be 4-on-3 for the first 2 minutes of this period. And then we'll have 3 minutes. And you can see that they're actually telling Blake Brem that he can come back out onto the ice. You can't see that just yet. But here comes Blake Brem from the locker room. And actually, no, that's...
No, Spartan left the ice, and I don't know why he did. The coach of the Spartans talking to the referee right now.
Yeah, I mean, Blake's in the box. So, actually... It looks like that's actually Magnus Vega, not Blake Brem in the box. So 59 versus 9. And I wonder if that player went back to go tell Blake that he could, in fact, rejoin the game. But he has to start in the penalty box. You can't start serving that penalty in the locker room. As much as I think a lot of guys would like to sit in there with their gear off for 4.5 minutes.
Well, we'll see what kind of carryover happens off of that one, because again, you're starting to get that feel of a typical Eastern San Jose State game starting to erupt, as I call it.
Well, it definitely erupted there at the end of the period. And hopefully we've corrected our internet and camera issues. Struggling a little bit with the new replay system.
Oh, but it's great. I'm loving it right now.
It is fantastic. Jeff and Kayla crushing it on the replay side. Only game number 2. We ran into some issues when we first launched the scoreboard camera. Sometimes it just takes a little bit of working through the struggles.
Yeah, but we'll have that perfected soon. No, it's been a big help. We've shown some really intricate plays, and without that replay, we wouldn't have been able to do that. So I'm really appreciative of it.
Now an opportunity for San Jose State as here comes Danny Barry. He had 2 last night, and he has that one slapped away. Good defense by Peyton Lund. And Barry really holding on to that puck. He's going to take it all the way back behind his own net. And Eagles not able to keep it in the zone, but now heading back over to the far side to Lund. Lund off of the stick of a Spartan and up and into the netting. So 1:20 left on this 4-on-3 hockey here in Cheney.
Without a doubt, both clubs have played very entertaining hockey these last 2 nights out here. And again, I think they realize just how important these 2 points are in the standings for them. Not only nationally, but in the PAC8. You start zeroing in on the tournament and your seeding, like you mentioned yesterday, it's crucial.
So there's a change of players in the penalty box. Coming out was Jackson Graham, who was never actually on the board. In the box, I still have not seen Blake Brem, who's supposed to be in the box serving this major penalty, but in there currently is Magnus Vega. And that 2-minute rough on Brown was the final penalty from that last period. Tierney with it up at the top. Now back to Tierney near the blue line. Over to the far side. Shot taken, blocker straight down. Hey, Gary, how much does it change your defense when you've only got 3 skaters on the ice and you're going against 4 versus 5? Do you still keep that real triangle shape in front of the net as best you can, or can you float out a little bit more?
You can either stay in the triangle, go a diamond, or you float. Actually, any 3 ways. It just depends on how they set up the plan that they want to do. But usually you see those 3 different formations when they're killing off a penalty. And it looks like they're doing almost like a 2-1.
And does that change, being that they're only facing 4 players versus 5?
Because you basically shorten up the ice on that one, and so your mindset's a little bit different. But that's what I like about Eastern. And when they are shorthanded, they're still looking to attack. A lot of teams won't do that. They'll just stay in their formation. Eastern's always looking to attack.
Lusk has it taken away as he tried to make that backhand cut towards the net. And that's going to go all the way back to Kennedy. 5 seconds left on the power play.
But to pick up on what you were saying, one thing that if you are down and you only have 3 guys out there, you have got to be cognizant of where you're at and your space that you're supposed to do, because that's what the other team's trying to do, is get you out of that. If you're not careful, you get run into trouble with it. So that is your difference on how the mindset is.
Now back to 4-on-4 hockey. That one more of a pass shot as Thompson had gone to the wrong post. Now back to Thompson. Roach looking to crash from the near side. Across the ice from Thompson. And now Dysart trying to bring it out of the zone, but Thompson battling hard. The Spartans able to get it out across that blue paint, but right back to the stick of an Eastern Washington Eagle. Roach put hard into the wall. 2:15 left on those matching major penalties.
You're starting to see some little extra liberties, I'm going to call that, by both teams. And when they're putting them in the boards like that one right there, they're taking some little extra shots. So this game could get very physical in this period.
I think we're seeing that as we tick under 2 minutes in these matching majors. It's not something that you see very often, Gary. Matching majors outside of somewhere like a fight in the NHL.
I thought you were talking about that hip check Wills.
I mean, also that.
Because you don't see that much anymore, and it's an effective play. I'm surprised more people don't do it.
Clark on the right side. He pushes it up ahead to Jelinek. Jelinek trying to get it out to his man out front. That was Lund. A miscommunication between the Eagles. Lund able to hold on to it. Clark now back behind the net. He's got Tierney at the top of the zone on the near side, floating towards the point. That's where he goes. Parallel to the blue line. Shot taken off of the legs this time of Codner. Tierney just not able to get that past the forward of San Jose State, and now gets beat down into the corner. But Clark able to come away with it.
Cardinal did an outstanding job for the Spartans.
Now a chance for Smith. He gets behind the defense. Forehand, backhand, kicked away. Now a second opportunity, bouncing puck out front. Smith had all the time in the world there on the backside. If he had given it just a half a second there to reset himself, he might have had a chance on that rebound. But now he'll get a chance from this side. That one again clangs off of the mask of Antonio Meniski for his, 27 saves on the night so far.
But that was an outstanding play, and that was Wells that was behind his net, and he saw Smith breaking into the neutral zone, and that was a nice stretch pass by them. But again, that's that anticipatory style that Eastern's starting to play more often, and that's how Smitty got that breakaway. Nice shot, but an outstanding save by Meniski. He stood his ground, but Smith knew exactly what he wanted to because he was over by the boards on the blue line when he saw Wells pick it up, and he darted straight toward the middle of the circle in the neutral zone, and Wells spotted him. A nice pass.
Meniski having to head to the bench for just a moment. Got a little bit of help from his buddy Camus Stevens, who was in net last night, retying his leg pads back behind him. So he's all situated here for the final 15:43. I'm sorry, 15:42. 43 seconds left on those matching major penalties. San Jose State having a hard time with the line changes here. Their coach not so happy with the officials' decisions a couple of times tonight.
Well, if there's no question about it, if you're a hockey fan, there's been two outstanding games by these squads. They are just going at each other, especially so far in this third period.
To Wells up to the point, put that one towards the slot. He was looking for Arver. Arver using his body there, but can't get back to the puck in time. The Castellanos with speed across the blue line, going all the way around Eastern's defense. Castellanos hitting the wall hard, but Eastern going to send a man to the box. Their 10th penalty of the evening. This one coming 4:45 of the first period. It's going to be Roach for a trip. So 16 seconds left on those major penalties. Out of the box will be those two players. Not sure who's serving for either team here. But then a power play opportunity for the Spartans. Not a position you want to be in if you're an Eastern Eagle, especially this late in the game. Kind of a reverse of what we saw yesterday between these two teams, as it was San Jose State that was getting into a little bit of penalty trouble here in the third period. Peyton Lund smashed hard into the corner, and that's going to be the end of the power play for San Jose State, just 8 seconds into it. This one coming 5:09.
Dysart's going to get it for interference on that one. I think that's initial saw it, but it's definitely
that was definitely a retaliatory hit there. He didn't like what had happened, and actually they're going to give him an unsportsmanlike for that. I don't know if that's 2+.
I don't know.
But I believe Dysart got an unsportsmanlike last night as well.
Yeah, I think he was chirping a little bit toward the referee when he was going into the box, and he got caught. Or at least the referee heard him. How's that? Well, this game's getting, as many penalties you were talking about. Well, we're not sure this, but there's so many penalties and so many people are missing. It is hard to keep up right now.
It is. We have played less than half of this game, and a double minor penalty for Dysart. That'll be for the trip and the unsportsmanlike. But we played less than half of this game with 10 skaters on the ice, or 12 players on the ice, I guess. So 1:36 left on the Brody Roach roughing minor, and then double minor penalty for Dysart for tripping and unsportsmanlike. Barry waiting out front, hoping to poke that one home, and that's going to be another penalty. And it's going to be Eastern this time, going to get the hook for hooking. And the crowd not enjoying the officials' calls, and they are letting them hear it.
And I got to be frank, I did not see the hook by Clark on that one. It looked like he was trying to just skate him off. Well,
So we'll have 4-on-3 for the next 123. San Jose State on the power play.
the penalty bug's definitely hitting Eastern tonight.
11 penalties for Eastern, 8 for San Jose State so far. The battle for the puck on the far side. Back behind the net. Looking for somebody up top is Werner, I believe. Actually, that's Brown. He's going to try and slide that one in. And a dive by Castellanos to keep that one in. Jumps right back up, gets the puck over to Brett Brem. This one off of the chest of Kennedy, trying to poke it in again. That time was Brown. Brown ends up on the ice, cheating without his stick, has to slowly kick that one along the wall.
Well, now he can pick up his stick because
And
he's going in the box.
They're going to call a hold on cheating, and I'm not really sure how that happened when the player was behind him. And again, the officials have been good all night, but these last two have been a bit confounding. The last three, really.
I'm a bit baffled with that one. I was still a little bit surprised with the hook, but this one, you're right. I mean, I don't know how they got him with
unless they call him for holding the stick potentially because he didn't have his. Maybe he thought that one out there was just extra stick floating around. So that's going to kill off the potential power play Eastern was going to have. They'll be short for the next 3 minutes. Good takeaway there on the wraparound, but Barry's still with it. Barry still back to Castellanos. Over to the far side, that's Brem. Brem holds on to, or puts that on net, and Kennedy holds on to it.
all I know is we're lucky Scott Kennedy's on top of his game again right now because he's made some outstanding, superb saves. But it's hard to get a flow. You know, you were talking earlier about your mindset of stuff. It's hard to get into a rhythm when you're continually going in the box.
So out of the box comes one Eagle. And that there's still 3 Eagles in the box. Not sure why. Eastern's, well, I guess they can't get out of the box because that would put too many players. I'm here. I'm new to the game. Had to learn it.
I don't know. I'm with you. It was a little confusing trying to follow all these penalties right now.
And now Eastern can send a player out of the box. A little confusion there, but out of the box comes Clark. He's going to turn and circle back towards the net. So 4-on-4 hockey. Eastern somehow, after all of this, still going to end up with a short penalty kill. Or, I'm sorry, a short power play. As there's only 1:05 left on Cheney's minor penalty. And still 1:30 left on Dysart's unsportsmanlike minor. You got a double minor for tripping and unsportsmanlike.
You know, you got to give a shout out to the crowd tonight. They are so supportive right now. Everything Eastern's doing, they're just rooting them on to get the next goal. It's been impressive, this crowd base tonight.
And you can tell that it's going to go one way or the other when this next goal is scored, depending on who it is.
Oh, it's huge. The next goal is definitely huge.
Well, and with Eastern not able to stay out of the box, I think a lot of fans here may be thinking that San Jose State's the one that's going to be able to find the back of the net unless the Eagles can stay out of trouble. And as I say that, Thompson tries to come down the ice with it. He's knocked off of the puck, finishes his check on the far side. Now check behind the net, couple players all on top of each other. And now a hit behind the play, and that's going to send a San Jose State player to the box. And that one a bit unnecessary from, looks like Duncan Warren again. He went back for a second time, and that's what got Dom here earlier. So now a 4-on-3 opportunity for the next 24 seconds, and then Eastern going to have about 20 seconds of 5-on-3. There's a good chance here for the Eagles to find the back of the net.
See, this is where the Zirkus getting retired early is hurting, because this is prime time for him.
Top of the zone to Lund. Oh, sorry, Lusk feeding it down low. Now back up top to Lusk. Over to Wells. He's got one tonight, looking for a second one, and well read by Maniski. His 28th save of the night.
But that's what I like about this Eastern squad. Okay, so Dom had to go in the showers early, but this year the team have enough scoring power that, compared to in the past, if they lost a big gun like that, they'd be in trouble. That's what's so good about this team. Now they got some other players that can put the points up on the board.
So 5-on-3 for 24 seconds for Eastern Washington here. Lusk puts it on net, and a swing at that one. Looks like that was Lund out front, and he just missed it right into the glove of Maniski.
Yeah, it was unfortunate because Lund was definitely trying to do a tip, and that would have went in if he got a stick on it. Crowd's they're into it. They're getting restless.
Are into it.
Great crowd again here for the Eagles.
Lund out front. Gave it to, or Lusk fed it over to Lund, and he was there, just could not get enough of it to chop it up and in. And 5-on-4 now, as out of the box finally comes Dysart. He's well rested, had a 4-minute breather. Now Wells, whole body spin around, right out front, backhanded and just wide of the net. Lusk on the right side, back to Wells. He thinks about it, down low, trying to go across the blue paint to Jelinek was Lund. Thompson with it, he's gonna go back up to Wells. Wells to Lusk, who flings that one high and up over the netting, bouncing off of the lights. And the crowd scattering as the sky was falling on them. Chicken Little up on the catwalk tonight. 40 seconds left on the power play. 33 shots for Eastern Washington, 38 for the Spartans, but all knotted up at 22 apiece.
They're doing Eastern's trying to do a lot of tip-ins down low, and I like seeing that because that gives them a little bit of an advantage for pressure.
And Eastern still in control of the puck. 20 seconds from the far side. Stevenson with it now. Turns, fires, kicked out front, and sent back towards Dysart. He's going to backhand it all the way down the ice. On the right side, Clark brings it in, tries to just send it up ahead. And the Spartans killing off all of those penalties. And now Kennedy, one-on-one, bouncing puck out front, and a big stand by the netminder against Duncan Warren.
Outstanding job by Kennedy on that one, just to smother and get the whistle, because Duncan was looping around behind the net. He was hoping that he could get Kennedy off guard with it. And Scott did a great job of saying, no, we'll just take a breather right now. Been an extremely entertaining hockey game by both squads. Both nights have been excellent hockey, but tonight they just picked up the tempo a little bit of the intensity.
Now a chance for the Eagles coming the other way. Eli Nickish feeds it over to Best. Best back out front looking for that rebound off of Maniski, was Jacob Nickish. Now Dysart and Castellanos. Dysart parallel to the blue line and then fires that one on net. The 40th save of the game. I'm sorry, the 38th save, 40th shot of the game for San Jose State. Well, not that I want to look past this game just yet, but taking a look at next weekend for Eastern Washington. They play Cal in a PAC8 showdown Friday and Sunday here at the URC, and then they play UC San Diego Saturday and Monday. So a 4-pack of PAC8 games here for the Eagles. A couple of California schools heading up here to take on Eastern Washington. And another quick whistle as that puck looked like loose. But if you want tickets to those games, you can find them at EWEagleshockey.com. Click on tickets, just $10. Skip the line. You can even get your season tickets still. Just $99 get you into every game this season. Still a savings this late in the year. You can get that as well at EWEagleshockey.com. Face-off coming on the far side. Won by the Spartans, as it's Brem that'll send it up the wall. Less than 9 to play. As a reminder, 3 of Eastern Washington's last 5 games have gone into an extra frame. 2 shootouts and an overtime. Quick takeaway by Lund. He's going to fire that again, sticked up into the netting. He had Sterling Myers there as well, but wanted to take that shot. I think he was hoping maybe he could get that off and Sterling would poke it home off of the rebound, but no can do, says the San Jose State defenseman, putting that up into the net.
I was wondering if Lund didn't pick him up coming in because Sterling was trailing a little bit, and I think when Lund shot it, that's when Myers got open.
Thompson following up on that shot. Didn't hit the netminder, but both of these teams are very protective of their goalies.
Well, they're very sensitive right now. How's that? That's another way to say it there.
So now face off to the other side of Maniski. One back into the corner by the Spartans. Eli Nickish there, able to push it back down. Looking for that out front. And that's hands in the crease.
Yeah.
That's a pretty obvious.
They're going to have to call that.
And they are.
Great job by the official. Outstanding job by them.
You cannot cover up the puck in your own crease if you're a skater. We'll see what they decide here.
Well, that's the beauty of having.
Because I want to say I know what the call is going to be here. But I've been shocked tonight by more than one thing.
Well, I'm surprised at as much conversation that's going on right now.
So it should be a penalty shot, and that is what's going to happen.
Well, they got Captain Wells. Is he taking it, or is Lund?
We'll see who it is. Looks like it's going to be Lund.
Well, this is interesting right now. This is pivotal. And right now they're explaining it to both coaches. Well,
and it looks like there's a player going to the box as well. So I'm not sure that you can give them the penalty shot and the penalty. But in the ACHA, it's supposed to be a penalty shot.
That's definitely going to happen. I'm wondering if they didn't call 2 on that. No, now they took it off. Now he's getting out of the box.
That makes much more sense. So 8:09 left to play here, and it looks like it's going to be Joel Lusk out there for this. He's Lusk, 7 goals so far this season, looking to make it 8 and put his team up
He's a sharp
by
shooter.
1. He's going to pick it up on the forehand, cut to the right at the top of the circle. Stick handle, finds a shot, kicked away by Antonio Maniski. What a save by the San Jose State netminder to keep his team in this game late in the third. Actually, yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at the replay. Actually, if we lost it already, that's on me. The replay team wanted a replay. I was like, no, let's not worry about it. Then we had some extra time. So my apologies for not getting out that replay this time. So now here comes San Jose State the other direction. Dysart going to slap that one down. Big momentum shift here, potentially, as the netminder for San Jose State standing strong for the Spartans. Antonio Maniski, 37 saves on the night, kicked away by Kennedy. Thompson just out of his reach. Floating puck lands on the stick of Dysart. He didn't even realize it, juggled it for a second, then got it off to his own players. Now here's a chance for Lusk again. Forehand again, saved by the netminder. That one's going to go in. Floating puck. Joel Lusk makes up for the missed penalty. Big save by Maniski, but it's not going to do it. Was that Nickish that was able to put that in? Eli Nickish.
And we can get that on replay because he trailed it. Lusk did a great job of going in. And Maniski had it, kicked it out, but Nickish kept going. As you can see right here, watch Nickish. There he is.
Oh, you're right. He did come in there and he poked that home. I was so focused on the player on the ice in the crease trying to cover the puck up again.
Outstanding job by Eli Nickish on that, because if he wouldn't have shot in there, it would have been blowing dead. But that was great hustle by him. He trailed it the whole way. He didn't give up on it. Outstanding job by Eli Nickish on that one. Big goal for Eastern right there. Huge.
So it looks like officially they're going to give that one to Joel Lusk. I think that was Eli. I definitely think that was Eli that came in and cleaned that up, unless the official was standing right there. Maybe Eli just scared the puck into the net.
Nothing against Mr. Lux. He'd be the first to admit. No, that was definitely Eli. But it could happen. The way the game's going right now, I don't know. But, you look at it. Look at the shots on goal. Look at the score. These two teams are evenly matched, and they're playing that way, and that's why it's so darn good and exciting hockey.
The 7:05 left to play in this exciting PAC8 matchup. Eagles taking their first lead of the game. Off of either an Eli Nickish or a Joel Lusk. And they did change that to Eli Nickish.
Well deserved by
officially
Eli.
His third goal of the season. Third goal in an Eastern Washington uniform. And you mentioned it, Gary. This team's starting to gel, and that's exactly what that was. Nickish knew Lusk was going to take that shot. He just kept pounding the crease. He knew where that puck was going to be, either in the netminder's arms in the back of the net or waiting right out front for him.
Plus, you saw the Spartans didn't back check at all on that one. They just let Eli go. I don't think they thought he was going to go in, and that's why that hustle paid off for him.
Shot taken from distance, sticked right towards the netminder. Now it's going to go out into neutral ice. Brem with it. He's got Morris in the neutral zone. That one taken away right at the center stripe by Best. Cole going to take on two different Spartans, and he's going to get there first. A couple players come together on the far face-off dot. Now San Jose State tries to clear, but only gets it as far as Brody Roach for Eastern Washington. Now Lusk dumps it back in. Thompson on the right side, Roach behind him. Lusk is going to come in and clear it up and then send it over to the other side. High dump out into the neutral zone, bouncing puck. Roach gets it across the center stripe and then sends a big pass all the way around. And unable to hold on to that was Arver for the moment. But now he's got it. He's going to try and take a walk right towards the netminder. Good defense by Duncan Warren. Definitely a defender of the game, Duncan, for San Jose State so far. He's stepped up in some big plays. Now Arver on the far side, he puts that shot on. Sticked away by the netminder off of the wall and then right back to the glove of Antonio Maniski.
Well, I'm not really sure what that was about.
Yeah, not sure how those two came together.
And I don't see anybody
Doesn't look like anybody's
getting called on that, and that was a little late. Interesting.
Official's going to have a conversation as Antonio Maniski tidying up his equipment. Let's take a look back at how we got here. It was San Jose State that opened up the scoring in the first period thanks to Blake Breb, who found the back of the net. Then it was Eastern Washington in the waning minutes of that first period with Trent Wells scoring his first goal of the season. The next goal scored by another 23, this time Ken Brown of San Jose State. Since then, it's been all Eastern Washington. In the waning minutes of the second period, it was Dom DeZerkis. And then just now, we saw Eli Nickish cleaning that one up. 5 different goal scorers in the 5 goals so far tonight. Arver sends that one up the wall a little bit, mishandled, and now with some speed come the Spartans. Codner has it. He had Castellanos out front. Barry pokes that into the corner, but nobody there for him. On a high dump off the glass. Stevenson chases the puck. It's going to get around him to Barry, who gains the blue line for San Jose State. He's mugged. Dysart sends that towards the net, but slapped out of the air by Sterling Myers. Goes all the way to the far side. Spartans have to reset on defense. Arquero, he's going to send it across to his D partner, and then up the ice to Barry. Back to the far side to Warren. Jelinek has it. Goes around one man, dummies him. Second attempt and a good save by Maniski. I think Jelinek even deked himself that time. Lost the puck, and it just happened to find its way back to his stick. Eastern setting up in the attacking zone. Back down the wall this time to Myers. Lund having to battle along the far wall. The end wall there. Roach off the window. Over to Dysart on the far side. Wells tried to pick his pocket. Dysart well aware and sent it down the wall. Nickish slowly carrying it in, and Eli sending it down into the corner. Wells back with it, backhands it all the way into the San Jose end of the ice. Spartans having to restart from their own end, and now Lusk, he's got it again on the right side. Out front to Nickish, past 2 different Eastern Eagles, and now a 2-on-2 rush for San Jose State. That one left on back to Morris. And now a chance for Nickish again. He's got Lusk crashing, and Nickish floats that one just a bit too tall. Eli doing a really good job of slowing down the game as he's bringing it into the zone. Morris across top shelf. Kenneth Brown, his second of the weekend, I believe. Actually, that's Brown's second of the night. Coming late in this one, 17:45. And that one, not really a buildup and not really in transition. Seems like Eastern just got caught watching.
They did, and unfortunately, there was an Eagle player that tried to go down and stretched out, and give the Spartans credit. He did a nice little pass over his stick. Here we go. He did a nice little pass right above the stick of the Eastern player, and Scott was going down for it, and unfortunately for Eastern, and unfortunately for the Spartans, it went in. So nice play all the way around by San Jose.
A familiar but uncomfortable position for Eastern Washington late in this game, 3-3.
Well, you feel the tension building, and the crowd getting restless, and you can sense it in here. Literally, you can feel it's building up, and
still bums in seats. Shot taken from a little bit of distance by Myers. Now puck out front and wisely covered just outside the paint.
Myers almost put that in. He got it back, and he tried to do a quick deke, and you got to give Meniski a nice job of staying with it, or the puck would have scored it in.
So face-off coming, glove side of the San Jose State netminder, Antonio Meniski. Puck down, face-off won by the Spartans. Top of the zone to Tierney. Through traffic, Jelinek swatting at it. But a good read by Meniski. His 45th save of the night. And a San Jose State player down in the corner.
Looks like it's Aquero with that.
And having to be helped back to the bench. I didn't see what happened down there. But not a lot of high-speed movement there. Hopefully it was, and this sounds weird, but hopefully he was helped by somebody. You never want to see a player go down when they're out there by themselves. Those typically are worse injuries.
Yeah, it almost looked like he lost his blade and went into the boards, and that's as far as I could pick up. Then I lost sight of it.
150 left in regulation here in Cheney. These two teams battled hard yesterday. Eastern coming away with a 2-goal win, but one of those an empty netter at the end of the game. 3-3 tonight, 4-2 last night. Barry had a man. It was Castellanos on the far side. Myers behind the net, waiting for somebody to release down the ice, and only gets it as far as the blue line. And what a shot from the blue line. I'm not sure that Kennedy even saw that. And I said it before, Duncan Warren may be player of the game today. He has been everywhere, and including on the score sheet now.
I would love to see that again because it looked like it changed directions. I'm not positive, just the way Kennedy reacted. Take a peek at this one.
Get that queued up, that one 1842 of the third period. You see it's just from distance there.
That was a strange shot. I mean, that was right at the blue line.
We'll try and get one more look at this here. See, the puck goes up to the top of the zone here. Trying to clear it, and they just couldn't. And I don't think Kennedy even saw that one coming. He was focused on something else. So just like that, Eastern Washington playing from behind, 78 seconds left in Cheney. This has been their PAC8 season so far. So now Eastern really just playing for at least 1 point here with 1:10 left to play.
Here comes Kennedy. They're waving him off. Now he's staying.
I think they're waiting for Eastern to get possession here in the attacking zone. Wells has it now. He's going to leave it off for Lusk. 1 minute remaining in this period. Lusk across the blue line, gains the red line, fires that one, bounces it off the backside of the cage. Dump and chase strategy. here late for Eastern Washington. 45 seconds. They're going to send this one down the ice. Or at least they tried to. Now back out to Lusk. Lusk to Wells. Eastern needs to get the puck in the attacking zone. You're not going to score from your own end of the ice. With a goalie in the other net, 30 seconds. Eastern really just one more real trip down the ice here. They're going to build up the entire team. Lusk now across the red line. Gains the blue line, dumps it in and too high, puts it over the top, and then taken down on the far side of the ice after that. So this will come back out into the neutral zone.
You know what San Jose did? They just lined all their players up at the blue line, and that's how they were going to stop that deep dump and chase game. So you got to give kudos to San Jose for playing that style at the end.
That one going to float. They're going to move this one all the way out to center ice. They're going to say Lusk wasn't in the zone when he sent that over the net. So back into the net goes Kennedy. 20.9 left. Eastern wins the draw. They maintain possession. Tough for Eastern here as the scoreboard's behind them. They're not going to be able to see how much time's left. And that one all the way back down the ice. That's going to be an icing. So one last desperation gasp for Eastern Washington. They'll get a face-off in the attacking zone. 9.3 on the scoreboard. 41 saves by Antonio Maniski. Eastern hoping to keep that at 41.
Now it's coming out to the neutral zone.
Not really sure why. This was very clearly an icing. Some interesting calls by the officials tonight. They've gone both ways. And a tie-up at center ice. 5 seconds left. Jelinek going to rim it around, but he's not going to give his teammates time to get there. That's going to be it. Game winner, and this one is going to devolve here. These two teams not fans of each other, and we've seen it already. And you see it out there from Cam Morris taunting the crowd, despite the fact that they split the weekend. That last goal
game, though, you got to give it to both teams. It's very good hockey. It's just unfortunate that
it was great hockey all weekend long. The Spartans just finding a chink in the armor late in this one. Eastern without one of their top scorers for the final 20 minutes in a game that they really could have used him.
Yeah, and again,
hats off to San Jose, an incredible team, and I'm excited to see them back in February at the PAC8 championship tournament. Wouldn't surprise me if this team that's now 3-3 in the PAC shows up and is in that championship final again next February.
But it was a great 2 days of hockey. Both teams were equally matched. There's not much you can say except that it was just really good hockey. It was just unfortunate that goal went in with, about a minute, 8 seconds left, something like that. But it was just one of those goals that
it was. It's again, hats off to San Jose State. They've been fantastic. But Gary, what's better than 2 hockey games in a weekend?
4.
That's what we get next weekend.
Was that a loaded question? I don't know. 4. I mean,
that's what we get next weekend. Cal here Friday and Sunday, and UC San Diego here Saturday and Monday. I mean, really, Monday. If you have a test Monday morning, you're pulling an all-nighter Sunday night.
Just go watch the game.
Just come on out here Monday morning at 7:30 a.m.
Yeah.
That one, free admission for everybody.
But that game against Cal, is Cal still unbeaten? So that'll be an interesting contest because I think they are.
Cal is 9-0 so far. So Eastern going to try and knock off the top team in the conference, one of the top teams in the ACHA West. If you want to be party to that, head over to EWUEaglesHockey.com. Go get your tickets. They're just $10, and it is going to be an absolute blast.
And I haven't had a chance, except I streamed a little bit of the Cal game. But if Eastern plays like they did this weekend, they'll give Cal everything they want because Eastern played outstanding. San Jose played extremely well. It was just a good game, but I'm real curious about that Cal and Eastern game. I think that's going to be a real solid hockey game.
But I think we're going to see that. Eastern needs to keep their head on straight. I think everybody that's watching can see that. Eastern tonight ending the game with 12 penalties, only giving up one power play goal, but only losing by 1 goal at the end of the day.
But I can't. I'm going to go back. I can't say enough good things about Mr. Kennedy. He's played 2 outstanding games tonight. It just didn't bounce right for him, but there's no way he can hang his head. Actually, both goaltenders. You got to give it to him. It was a great goaltenders battle. But Scott Kennedy has played extremely well for Eastern the last 3-4 games. Kudos to him, but it's a heck of a game.
Well, for everybody here at Eastern Washington Eagles hockey, on the broadcast team, our replay man, Jeff, our director, Kayla, our camera gals, Haley and Harper, for Gary Allen and everybody else here at Eastern Washington Eagles hockey, my name's Tyler Pisani saying good night, go Eagles, and we'll see you at the Barrel House.